Hold on.
I've been a traditional woman, guys.
Are you a virgin?
I understand
I
that.
grew up in the church. The man
Are you a
I'm married-
virgin?
Listen, the
Are
man
you a
I'm-
virgin?
Hold on.
Simple.
Can I-
You said
can I finish?
No, answer the question.
Oh, is it you asking me?
Yeah.
Wait.
Young living every day, giving it to you and cutting straight. Listen, y'all, man. Before I start, y'all, I just want to say I definitely appreciate all the support that I'm getting from you guys. Let's go, man. Subscribe to the channel. On the road to 1K. Let's get me to 1,000 subscribers, man. The more y'all support my channel, the more I can give to y'all, man. Let's get into it, though. So today's video, man, is off a podcast from a guy called King Richez. Very, very dope podcast, very intelligent guy, and he's also somebody who understands women nature like myself. But let's dive into the video, guys.
I think that a lot of modern women these days have like kind of crazy expectations of the guys they're dating. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Speaking to the mic a bit.
Yeah, I would. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, they've got this thing where they're just so bougie that now they think that they can. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like,
Now you gotta explain it. What do you mean, bougie? What do you mean by that?
so a type of living that they live in, they've set themselves up for a type of lifestyle that when they meet someone now, they think that they're entitled for that person to give them that lifestyle, but it's not up to that person. It's up to them.
Okay.
You got to keep up with what you're giving yourself. It doesn't matter about that person. All
If you can speak loud into the mic, thank you.
All you got to know is you got to keep it 50-50. Do you know what I'm saying?
So do you believe in 50-50 relationships? That's just how it should be all the time.
Yeah.
So you'd be happy.
One thing I would say is this, man. Guys, you got to understand that most women, I'm not going to say all, most women that want this equality and 50-50 in a relationship aren't going to be women that respect you. So as a guy, say you want to be that leader, you want to be the guy who makes a decision, you have to be able to make those decisions as a man. You have to be able to lead properly. Leadership ain't just for every guy, and every woman ain't just going to submit to you. You have to be in that role where you're actually leading. So you got to understand as a guy, when you go 50-50 on a woman, more chances than none, she's not going to listen or take your leadership. She's not going to have that respect for you because she's still contributing with bills financially. However, now it's a different story. Say like you're a guy and you're paying like mass majority. Let's say you're paying about 70 to 80% of the responsibility, the bills that come in the house. That's a different story. But if a woman is going half and half with you, more times than none, she's not going to follow your leadership. She's going to feel like an equal to you. You have to understand that more chances than none when you're doing that with a female. That's going to be your outcome. She's not going to see you as the leader, the protector, and the provider. She's going to think she has as much leeway as you do. But let's continue.
Happy that you're in a relationship or you're with a guy, like you live with a guy and you pay 50% of the bills down the line, everything. Yeah. And you'd fully respect him.
Yeah. And if he ain't got it.
That's one thing I would say about shout out to King Richez, man. And he asked her, you would fully respect him. Now she said, yeah, right. And let's say she's telling the truth. She would be the exception to the rule. But I'm telling you guys, like I just said, on a balance of probabilities, if you are paying half the bills with a woman, she's not going to respect you and she's not going to follow your lead. But let's continue.
And I've got it. And that's it. And then when I ain't got it and he's got it.
So what happens? What happens if he loses his job? You're gonna support the whole thing?
Yeah, because if he supported me when I've needed him, then that's how it goes. And if we've been together long enough to live together, to get to that point, then he's obviously supported me in some kind of way. So I'm gonna back my man.
Do you think that a lot of your female friends would agree with your kind of ideology?
Now, before he answered that last question, she responds to the last question. I'm gonna say this. There are a demographic of women, not a lot, that will, if you lose your job or whatever happened, business decline, that they'll be in your corner. But you have to understand, with women, there's always a shot clock on that. So at some point, you better be getting back on your feet, whether it's getting your job, whether you're getting the business back together, because they have a shot clock and you don't know when that shot clock's going to go off. She's only going to stay but so long. You know, some women got a bigger threshold than others. Some women might ride it out with you until you figure this thing out. Most women, they might give you a month. Some girls might give you a year. It depends on the female. You don't know when her shot clock is. So you better get your stuff together real quick, because if you don't, she gonna disappear. This is just how I go, man. Continue.
Nah.
What would they probably say about you?
That I'm a donut.
Probably.
But that's where me and them differentiate. Do you know what I'm saying? My head ain't like this.
What?
Now, you notice she said her friends, I don't know if that's a UK term. She said a donut or a donor. I'm not, that's some kind of term. I guess that's like saying like, girl, you tripping. I get, you know what I'm saying? So notice she said her friends looking at her like, girl, what? But let's continue.
Percentage of your friends would probably agree with your ideology in terms of like 50-50 down the middle, everything. Like just guesstimate.
Oh, see, now a lot of my friends have got kids.
Okay.
So they'll think that they get owed more by that person.
Mm.
But I would say about 75% of my group would think different from me.
So 25% would agree with you?
Yeah.
Okay. That
Yeah.
sounds.
But that's just like a mindset thing.
What do you
know
think
what I'm
the top? What do you think the top unrealistic dating requirement is in your mind?
My man's got to pay for the whole meal. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I actually go halves with him. That's just me, because if I'm gonna get like, see me when I go out, I'll get a load of things. I'm not expecting him to pay for all of that. You know, I can pay for it myself. If I ain't got the money, I'm not gonna go. We can arrange it another time.
Now I will say this, right? I get what she's saying, that, you know, if she go on a date, you know, and that's reasonable for you to go on a date and say, well, you know, I order a lot of stuff. I'm not going to expect you to pay for everything. But I'm going to be honest, man, most girls don't think like that. You know, most girls don't think that way. You know, say they want to order whatever it is they want to order, and they're expecting you to pay whatever it costs to pay for it. And if you say anything about it, you broke. This is just one example of a woman who has that, you know, that way of thinking about the whole situation. But I'm just going to tell you guys, most women, they're going to be expecting you to pay for it, no matter how much it costs. You got to be the man, pick the right spot. You got to keep your investments as low as possible. You know what I'm saying? This is just the truth, man. This is for the guys that's in the States, and, you know, this is how it goes. You know me, man, I'm an advocate for going overseas, because it's just a lot different over there. It's a lot better over there. But let's continue, y'all.
It's not that deep for me.
That sounds quite reasonable then.
Too reasonable.
Too reasonable.
Yeah.
It might be very convenient that you say that. Anyway, moving.
Notice he said he caught on to it too. Very reasonable. Like I said, most women ain't going to be reasonable like that. So this is not an example you guys can use and go run off with and be thinking a girl going to pay for half the meal when you go out. Most girls ain't going to do that. Continue.
On. All right. So next, what do you think about it? How do you feel about it?
I wouldn't completely agree, but in the sense of, I agree that relationships don't need to be a man providing everything, like a woman never working, she stays at home. Like, times have moved on from that. Women can work, women can get educated, women can go out and earn just as much, if not more, in certain situations, and that doesn't necessarily change the facts.
Well, one thing I agree with her on, times have changed, you know, and women are working now, women got careers, etc. However, as far as women working more, when you look at the statistics, it shows that most men are willing to work more hours. Most men are willing to work more dangerous jobs. If you look at most modern women, most of these young girls, they don't want to work no job. Why do you think they go do OnlyFans or corn? I can't say, I ain't supposed to say the P word, but they want to be P stars, and then they want to do stripping. They don't want to work. That's a way to go make fast cash as easy as they can, because they don't want to do that.
That a man still plays his part and a woman still plays her part. That should be the case. However, I don't think that we should sit there and say women are asking too much to be treated, because back in the day, you used to court women. women used to be courted before you had to show to their parents, I've got your daughter for the rest of her life. She's good now. I can take on.
Yeah,
objection.
Yeah, but women were virgins then.
Yeah,
that's a fact right there. Women was virgins then. I 100% agree.
That's the thing.
So women were virgins then.
Hold on. See, this is the thing, yeah.
Okay.
What you're saying?
What did I say?
You have to move me.
Like, you talk a good game, innit? Yeah. But at the end of the day, those were different women. We're talking about modern women.
It was also different men.
Yeah, it was a different society.
100%. I'm not saying that, but to sit there and say that women are like their standards have now gone crazy. It's.
Put it like this. Women back in the day was not talking about a guy has to make 6 figures. That didn't. Even if women thought that, they didn't come out all over the place and start spewing that kind of rhetoric. That is commonplace now. So the women are different. So obviously the way they get courted is different.
Facts. And I agree with what he's saying, because that's the issue that we have nowadays, that they want to go out, make their own money, be their own bosses, have their own life, but they still want you to court them in a traditional way. They want traditional men, but they don't want to be traditional women. That's the problem. They want tradition from you while still exercising the right to be a modern day woman and do whatever they want to do. It don't work like that. Continue.
No, I agree with you on that front. I'm just saying that if we're saying that now the standards are so much higher than they used to be, that's not the case.
Yeah, but 6 figures is that's a huge difference.
But then we're talking, if we're going to go into the pedantics of 6 figures and such, we can talk about inflation.
It's not pedantics, it's
like
numbers.
Back in the day, if you made, let's say, 4 figures, that would have been the equivalent of 6 figures now, like years and years ago.
At the end of the day, you live hold on. At the end of the day, you live in.
One thing I respect about him too is he made sure that he don't let her overtalk him, because women will do that a lot of times because a lot of guys allow that. So he made sure that he controlled framing his show, man. Shout out to you, King Richez, man. That's dope. But let's continue.
In the UK, yeah, a highly developed country, yeah, and the standard of living is going up, but the wage is not going up. So at the end of the day, you have to think with a logical brain that, okay, a lot of these people talking about they want 6 figures is kind of illogical when you think about it, because the vast majority of people do not make 6 figures, do not make near 6 figures.
Facts. That's another thing too, man. These women, they, like I say in a lot of my, facts. That's another thing too, man. Like I've said in the past, they have these standards, but they don't really understand the percentage of men who can offer these things to them, and then the amount of women who's going after the same thing that they're going after. When you want a guy of a certain stature as a woman that makes that kind of money, you have to be able to differentiate yourself from all the other women that's going after the same guy. And you have to understand the percentage of men who have these, that meet these requirements that you're looking for. Continue.
Even talking about it is ridiculous.
No, I agree to that. I agree with that. When I say that, like, I wouldn't say a woman's asking too much by what certain standards are we talking about? Are we talking about standards monetary wise, or are we talking about all standards? So is a woman asking too much when she wants the door to be open for her? Or
just to go off that point,
that's gentle.
I think what is crazy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think what's crazy is expecting a traditional man but not wanting to be a traditional woman. I think that's delusion.
But
facts. I just said that, y'all. This is what I'm trying to say. I be seeing these things and notice the guy in the video. He's saying the exact same thing I said. It's delusion. But again, like I told y'all, society allowed them to be delusional. Society don't hold them accountable, and if they're not being held accountable, then they can't be realistic about their expectations in life. Continue.
But we're gonna jump into that. Don't worry about that, bro.
Okay.
We're gonna touch everything, bro.
Right.
Yo, King Rich, wait, just a second. But I don't actually think women's standards are raised. I think their expectations are raised, but the standards have dropped. So, like, they want a lot, but actually.
Ooh, that was a good one right there. Okay, continue.
In fact, what they actually settle for and what they require is very low. So if you look at the fact that back in the day, you would actually have to do a lot to actually get a good woman. Now, it's really just consists of maybe taking trips. But actually, trips is like the upper echelon of it. It actually just involves going out, nice places to eat, nice car, you know what I mean? Real superficial things. And for men with money, that makes it very easy. So a lot of women judge men by how much money they spend. But £1,000 to someone who actually is a baller versus £1,000 to someone who had to work 30 days in a month is not the same money. And women don't understand that.
That I can.
Facts. They don't have no awareness of what it takes for a man to earn that money. They don't care. They just expect you to have it. But what he said is very, very true. They'd rather just go with a guy who got money, who gonna treat them like crap, who really don't care about them, who's gonna damage them mentally and emotionally, whatever the case may be, versus actually being with somebody who's gonna lead them properly, is gonna take good care of them. So he got a point there. Continue.
Yeah, no, that's a valid point. But I just wanted to get the opinion of the women to see where their levels at.
Yeah, it was only bro. It was only because of the expectation thing and standards. I was just like, no, I just don't feel like I feel like the expectations are way high. But
I'm gonna get.
That is very true. He's right. The expectations is high. The standards are low.
I'm gonna get to you.
if we're gonna get into like me personally, what I like when
all right, yeah, okay, go on.
What I like, my favorite thing in the world is to spoil the guy I'm dealing with. Like that, I love that. I love the fact in the sense that like.
Oh, you do, huh? Elaborate on that. Let me have a swig of water before we get into this whole thing. You gotta stay hydrated, guys. Let's see what she's talking about.
Buy him something that not even buy him something, but do something that makes him realize that someone's thinking of him. Because if anything, a lot of the time, women have a lot of people in their lives that they know you're on their minds all the time. Like when you're a daughter, and this is for like privilege. Like it's a privilege to have like a father that really cares about your mother, really cares about you. When you're a man, it's kind of expected that you've got you, but not necessarily everyone else has got you. So I like doing.
That's a fact. Now, I don't agree with everything she's been saying, but this part right here, this is called empathy. And I'm not saying sit there and cry, guys. Empathy is understanding, being able to see things from the male lens. She understands that men got men, but nobody else cares. Don DeMarco for that one.
Don DeMarco.
Don't agree with everything you said right there. Don't agree with everything you said, but that right there, 100% agree. Let's see what else she got to say.
Stuff that makes them think like, look, someone's got them now, even if it's like emotionally. Like men don't really benefit in any. Okay, how do I put this? When people are in relationships, a woman has everywhere to gain. A lot of the time, if we're talking traditionally, let's talk about money. Let's talk about getting looked after, being able to relax a little bit more. One important place where a man has to gain is someone that's going to be his peace, right?
That is a fact. I say it all the time, and guys, you hear even a female who understands this is a female. Maybe she might be a feminist, whatever the case is, but one thing she do understand is being able to see things from the male lens. Don DeMarco for that again. Damn. Yes.
Don DeMarco.
Yes. That is what you call empathy, guys. You heard what she said. Men don't really have much to gain in these relationships. So one of the main things that you can bring to him is some peace. Ooh, that's a fact. She cooking right now. Let's hear the rest.
And I think that's like the most important thing. That's the big
loyalty.
But the thing is, this is another thing. We put on pedestal stuff that's the bare minimum. That is a bare minimum. That is honoring the most basic term of any relationship. Any relationship is being loyal.
And I agree. But that's how bad it is for men. You know what I'm saying? That we, in the States, they honor the bare minimum because they're not getting it. So being a man's peace, being loyal, having the ability to have empathy and be able to see things from the male lens and add that value in his life when he's not really benefiting from marriages or relationships like the women is. You heard, she just broke it down to y'all guys. This is somebody who gets it. Most girls don't see it. But hey, I don't agree with what she was saying at first, but this part right here, she is on the money. But let's dive into the next one, guys.
You think about it a little bit.
So women's standards are definitely going up, or expectations are definitely going up. But I do think when you whittle it down to the core, I just think women just want to be treated like princesses. And I do think that deep down, men want to be able to treat their women like princesses. It's just when you hear a woman saying, I want a man with 6 figures, one man is in that position to do that. So he won't complain and say, oh, you're asking too much. But it's the man that isn't in that position that will then feel like, rah, you're asking for too much.
You know,
No, I disagree with her. See, this is the thing that y'all want to be treated like, when she said princess, I would say a queen. You want to be treated like a queen or a princess, whatever you may call it. But y'all don't act like that. Y'all don't conduct yourselves like queens. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, a queen has to be deemed so by a king, but you don't conduct yourself like a princess. You see what I'm saying? And you don't treat the men like kings. You don't treat men that way. So you're asking to be treated a certain way. You want to be courted. You want these traditional values of being courted, but y'all aren't traditional women. And it's not that men complain about y'all wanting the guys who got the money making 6 figures and up. It's some men that make 6 figures that complain about it because y'all have unrealistic expectations. A lot of you women are asking for things that you're not qualified for. And some girls be like, well, how can you say it is or they not? The market lets you know. If they're going out to the market trying to date these guys who make 6 figures and none of these guys are wifing them up, giving them a last name, that lets you know they're not adding enough value to these men's life. So you're not qualified for this guy. That's the thing right there. So it ain't about men that can have something to say about it, not having the funds. It's men who have the funds who got something to say about it because y'all standards are too high. He looking like, well, yeah, I might have low key, he might have the money, but he ain't gonna let you know that. He gonna sit there and watch how you behave, and he looking like you don't deserve this kind of treatment. Translation, you're not qualified to be able to utilize my resources, energy, attention, and time. Continue.
Do you know what it is that with the unrealistic expectations is a fact of you're asking for the things that only the top 10% of men can provide. And it's unrealistic because I mean, when you go on TikTok or YouTube or whatever social media, a lot of these women that are talking about these top 10% expectations are they're mid-table. So really and truly, can you?
And when you say mid, these girls are average looking. And I agree. A lot of these women have very high standards. Like I said, they're not qualified for it. And that's another thing too. You'll be an average looking female, and just because you get a lot of attention, you think that means that you're qualified to get the top tier guys. No. Like I said all the time, sexual attention and relationship attention are 2 different things as a woman. It's not how many men that you can get those encounters from. It's the kind of man that won't really give you a relationship and the last name. That's where it really lies. That's where your true value lies as a woman. And they cannot differentiate the 2.
Even afford to ask for those things really honestly deep down? No. But a lot of these women, they're pumped up because if enough women say the same thing, everyone's going to join onto the bandwagon.
And I agree with you. Like, and then, personally.
Now, I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, majority of guys, and it's not just money, it's height, it's looks, it's status, it's clout, it's a lot of things like that roll into it. It's not just money, because that's just one. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's a fact. Because we all know with women in the world, the biggest currency, man, is status. Women care about the status. That's why I said one guy can be a landscape. He can have a landscaper business. That don't sound like an attractive job to a woman. She's going to go with the doctor because of the status, the job title, the status. You might make $500,000 a year, and maybe you got your landscaper business. The other dude got a blue check on Instagram, and he got 2 million followers. Who you think she's more likely to go after? The guy with status. Because she's looking at it like, when he got status, and I be with him, that's going to elevate me.
Because there's a lot of broke guys that are 6'4" that are banging a lot of box. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, okay, another common one. Oh, a guy's got to be over 6 foot. The percentage of guys that are over 6 foot is not that high. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I'm really getting.
That's a fact. When you look it up, man is at least 6 feet taller. When I looked it up, 14.25% of man is 6 feet tall. Continue.
Getting at is just that fact of like looking at that top 10%, which I understand that most women, they want to date up. Women don't want to date. Women really don't want to date on the same level as themselves, or definitely not below. Do you get what I'm saying? So they always want to aim up and feel like, oh, okay, he's better than me, so that raises my value because I'm with him. What do you say to that?
Yeah, no, I do hear what you're saying. Women do want to date up because again, it goes back to that idea of what we've been fed as kids. Do you know what I mean? You're reading stories of a princess who's lying in her bed waiting for her knight in shining armor to come and rescue her, and then they live happily ever after, and you don't even know what the happily ever after looks like, you know? So I just think it just comes back to what we've been fed. Women just want to be treated well.
You heard what she said, guy? The happily ever after. What is that? That's what society fed women over years and years and years ago. It's called the Disney fairy tale, where they just gonna get this guy with all this money and status and treat them well like a princess and sweep them off the feet and ride off to the sunset. That's a fairy tale. That's what's indoctrinated into the Western society of the woman. That's what's indoctrinated into the Western women's mind.
But the way they ask for it can be a problem. So I think for a long time, you have to remember women have been silenced. Do you know what I mean? So you've been talking about women were being courted and all that kind of stuff. You have to remember marriages were arranged as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of people weren't even marrying for love. So a lot of women were probably in relationships that they weren't happy in, weren't sexually satisfied because men, let's be honest, we know that men for a long time weren't going down on women, things like that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Hold on.
But see, that's another problem that we have nowadays, because these women want to get married. Well, I don't even think a lot of them are marrying for love. They're marrying for status and the big old wedding. It's just bragging rights. You know, marriage isn't about love. It's about family, children. You know, that's what marriage come down to. And that's what a lot of women don't understand. So that's why when they're not happy anymore, they're opting to leave because they're incentivized to leave. You see what I'm saying? By the law. And then on top of that, it's just not fun for them anymore. They feel like they're missing out on something. It's not about love. It's about family. Continue.
Can I ask you something? Yeah. If you've had one partner, how would you know what bad sex is?
That's a fact.
Wait,
I was just thinking the same thing.
Wait, where did that come from?
What did that have to do with anything?
Because she said
No, because the logic behind it is because if you've never really thrown your box
now
around.
That question, I'm not gonna lie, it's triggered me already.
I know, I can see in your eyes.
Because
still.
I'm like, why is the question, how will you know if it's bad sex? Why doesn't the man want to give her the best sex?
That's...
What if his best ain't good enough for her? Right? Don't matter if it's his best. You know, sometimes dude might do his best. Women might not just like it. Again, that's why he just said, say she's not throwing her snatch around, her box around, she won't know what good or bad sex is. You see what I'm saying? But see, women always say, oh, he got to be this size, right? He got to be this, he got to be that. This has nothing to do with me personally. I do well in real life. But a woman that says, oh, he has to have this size or he has to have that size, those are typically women who've been promiscuous, going out and hopping on the carousel, and one that's longer than the next. Oh, let me see if I can find something else. Most women have not encountered a guy of humongous size. You know what I'm saying? Most girls haven't. So as a female, say you're not throwing your box around, you won't know what is too long or too small. All you know is what you know. That's why it's important as a woman not to do that. It creates an unsatisfied cycle because you're constantly wanting for more and more.
That's not what it is. It's not that, oh, we're saying men, or whatever man gives you, take it. But it's a fact of like, if you haven't thrown your box around, you don't know the full range of the spectrum. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Facts.
Because if you just go with one guy, you only know that guy. And more than often, you will be satisfied because that's all you know.
Facts. You won't know the full range of the spectrum because you've only been with one guy. So that one guy is going to be more than enough because that's all you've been exposed to. Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's like giving.
How would you know what a 9-inch feels like if you've never had a 9-inch?
That's not even a
facts. Get her, King Richez. Facts.
No,
First of
you're
all,
right.
run a million miles away.
To a
What the
degree,
hell?
yes, you don't know what you're missing if you
No, it's not to a degree. He's right. If you've never experienced it, then you don't know what you're missing out on. That's a fact. Let's move on.
don't have it. I hear it. But at the same time, okay, so for example, I'm African. I'm from the African community.
So am I.
I
Yeah.
know
So
that
am
I know a lot of African women that were not happy in their marriages, but stayed because it's what you do.
Because of
Now-
duty.
Exactly. But now I just feel like women have more of a voice. So how they're using it might be a little bit rough around the edges.
And women have
And I
more.
see
Hold
it.
on. And women have more of a voice, and more women are single, and we've got more baby mamas, and more women are actually unhappy.
Facts.
But at the same time, are men
Our men what?
Our men
Go
what?
on.
are men
I want to hear this.
I want to hear this.
Go on.
hey, are men bringing the standard? So I'll speak for myself.
No,
Okay,
no,
hold
no,
on.
no,
One
no,
voice.
no, 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 no.
Can I
One
speak?
One voice.
Can I
One
just say
voice.
this?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I've been a traditional woman, guys.
Are you a virgin?
understand.
I grew up in the church. The man
Are you a
I married-
virgin?
Listen, the man
Are you
I-
a virgin?
Hold on.
Simple. You said
Can I
that.
finish?
No, answer the question.
Oh, is it you asking
Yeah.
me? Wait.
But no,
When I
simple.
married my husband,
Yeah.
he was the first man I ever kissed, slept with, everything. So you want to talk about tradition? I was her.
But if
Yeah?
you're traditional, you still have a husband.
So you stay with a
What?
man if he's not treating you well. is what
We
you're
don't
saying.
know what's happened so far. You're
Yeah,
just
you don't-
assuming.
yeah.
You're just assuming.
Okay,
You
well,
she hasn't
my
told us a story. You just
situation-
One voice, guys.
My
Go on.
situation ended very badly.
okay.
Yeah, that's my situation,
Okay.
and I'm not gonna even say too much. But as in abusive, all of that, yeah.
Now, when
and
it comes-
I gave him all that innocence, virgin. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to be submissive. I was that woman. I grew up in the church. Everything, long skirts, all of that. And what I got back was horrible. You understand? So now that I'm out of that situation, I'm still traditional on the inside.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, I like to be a bit of a bad bee.
Okay,
You know
cool.
what I
So
mean?
Well, then you're not traditional. Then you heard what you just said. I'm still traditional on the inside, but I'm not gonna lie. I want to be a bad bee. That's a modern mindset. You're not traditional. You were raised under traditional values, but you want to adapt to the modern society. It's not traditional.
So what I'll say in regards to that is I'm really sorry about hearing about your situation. When it
So
comes down to
good.
anything to do with essay or anything like that, or abuse, anything like that, like we just support.
Yeah, man, I want to say that too, man. Any woman to go through SA or any abuse from a guy, I do not condone that behavior. My condolences goes out to any woman who has experienced SA or any EPAR in a marriage or relationship who gained a heart, mind, body, and soul to a guy and he still treated her like crap. You know, I don't condone that on my channel. My channel is strictly to hold women accountable for their bad decisions and to raise awareness to women nature to man and traveler men going overseas, you know, getting a better opportunity, you know, seeing all the benefits that come with being overseas and getting women that are raised in the better culture. They're effeminate, cooperative, and more appreciative. Continue.
Support you and just say
Sorry,
you're sorry.
essay.
Yeah, we just support you for that, innit? So just sorry about that. But then coming outside now, it's like you seem happy to be out in the streets. Like like
Me?
yeah, because the way you're like, yeah, and I'm outside, I'm a bad bee. I don't know what you think.
No, I said I'm traditional as a woman. Like if a man comes my way, okay, the way I see it is
Yeah.
not 50-50.
Yeah.
I feel more 70-30. But the other 20% that isn't in that 50, we're saving it kind of thing. So it's almost like the man puts in more, but part of my wages will be to save for a rainy day. So it wouldn't just be I'm using it to get my nails done and all that. I'm quite responsible as a woman. I'm not out here to just spend your money, take me on holidays and you pay. To be honest, I'd feel uncomfortable after a while. I'd be like, babe, let me at least give something
Can
back.
I ask you a question before I move on to the next guest? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, how did you get with your ex-husband? Or
Man, I grew up in the church.
so it was through like the church, and it was kind of like an arranged, like, oh, this.
No,
Did
I
you pick
thought it
him?
was love.
Did you pick him?
Yeah.
What was the parameters that made you choose that guy? What was it that attracted you to that guy?
I see what you're doing, King Richez, man. I see what you're doing, man. He like, I want to know exactly what it is that made you choose that guy because that's going to let me know the type of things that you look for, man. You peeling the layers back. I see you, man. Continue. That was good.
Looking back, I don't know.
I got a
But-
good idea though.
But honestly, that guy did not have money. We were young at the time.
Yeah, obviously
like,
you're young.
So it wasn't, you need to have 6 figures. Like,
No,
it wasn't
no,
even
no.
like that.
What
It
did he
was-
look like? You see?
See, she don't want to say because she know she's attracted to the same 10 to 20% of men that we talk about all the time.
Wait.
What did he look like? What did he look like?
He was a black man, isn't it?
Tall, handsome,
5'11".
5'11", handsome.
What I thought was handsome at the time.
Okay.
You thought he was handsome. Stop playing.
Okay. Oh well.
Not my type now.
What's your type now?
The same type, but not him, basically.
You just said he was your type back then. He said, "What's your type now?" And what did she say? The same type, but not him now. Now you don't want to admit that that's what you like because it didn't work out. Now you want to say it's a different type. You're attracted to the same kind of guy. And just keep it real. Let's continue.
As in, I still want dark
That's how
skin.
you know you're done.
Dark skin. I'm not.
Sorry if you're
I'm not.
watching
You
this,
need
bro.
to be 6'3". Like, no, just don't worry
No, but
about him.
preferably over 6 foot, right?
No, I'm like I saw someone who was 5'9", and I had no problem. To be
How
honest,
tall are you?
And where he at right now? The guy that was 5'9", where he at right now? Let's continue. Exactly.
5'6".
Oh, okay.
And I'll be honest with you, I kind of like hugging a guy that's a bit shorter because your torso is not at my head. You know what I mean? So for me, I don't need the most tall guy, but I do desire to be treated like a princess too.
She don't need the most tallest guy. She don't need the tallest guy. But let's be all the way real. You got you a guy that these guys meet all the requirements that she like, right? You got a guy that's 5'9" and one is 6'4". I bet you on a balance of probability, she gonna go with the guy that's 6'4". See, all that sounds good until you put it into play. We don't listen to what they do. I mean, we don't listen to what they say. We listen to what they do. Continue.
Degree. I don't want struggle love. Do you get what I'm saying? I do like the idea of it, but know that what you're going to get back is a woman that wants to please
Can I
you,
ask you something?
wants to make sure you're looked after.
Can I ask you something?
But I like to be a bad bitch.
Now check that out. You notice she had to throw that in there, right? What she say? You're going to get all these things. A woman is going to look after you and treat you well, but I like to be a bad B. So you want him to court you, give you these traditional values, but then you want to be traditional when it benefits you, and then you want to be a bad B. It don't work like that, man. You got to pick and choose. You got to pick and choose. Bad B's aren't traditional. But listen, y'all, that was great, man. Shout out to King Richez, man. Great interview, man. I mean, it's a lot longer than that, y'all, but I wanted to condense it because I don't want the video to be too long. But listen, y'all, I appreciate, like I said in the beginning, I appreciate the support. Subscribe to the channel. Get me to 1,000 subscribers so I can get monetized. The more I get from y'all, the more I can give y'all. Like it, tell a friend and tell a friend to tell another friend, man, to subscribe. 1,000 subscribers, 1K on the way. That's all I got to say about that, y'all. Listen, I'll see y'all in the next video. I'm out.
Yeah, got the streets on fire, feel the heat, the Wayne way. Ain't never had no handouts, put in work, I'm self-made. Superhero strength, I got the power, Luke Cage. Flexing on them haters like Drake. This is real rap, no